Welcome to SpeakEasy Conversations. Hey, welcome back, Greg.
The 21st edition. Hello. How you doing? What's going on?
Same old for me. Mine's been not nearly as exciting as yours, but yeah. So what do you got in your glass there, sir? Show me.
Same thing you got, right? Or no?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yasuki Black.
You read it because you got the glasses on.
Oh, okay. I like how that's a measuring thing. You got the readers on. All right. So this is a black Kolsch called Yasuki. This is from trying to read the thing now.
Daniel
Fisher sent us that. But Brockton Beer Company. I'm assuming that's in Massachusetts. I remember right. Anyway, so for mine, what do you think of it?
Bam. Damn. Mm-hmm.
Damn?
Mm-hmm. Bam, damn, thank you, ma'am, or thank you, Daniel.
Just as my per usual.
I didn't pour like that shit. I did a regular pour, y'all. But I love that pour. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for you, so you go and then we'll.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So it tastes great, and it's fucking great. But like, it's not giving off Kolsch vibes.
No, it's like a porter and a
IP or a black IPA without the hops. It's fucking good. Though. I'm not even trying to bitch.
No.
But I don't know. This profile is so unique. It's different.
Yeah.
It's here we go. It's time to geek out here.
Yasuke.
Okay. Yeah, we have our beer fridges are kind of wild at this point. I know yours are because we got the same shipment. So like, yeah. Daniel, thank you.
Yeah, this is
the Japanese thing to do too.
Just that about. Yeah. Okay. I think that works in most Asian cultures. So. But yeah, Schwartz beer meets the lightness of a Kolsch. It's a pretty good descriptor. It's super delicious, man. I could drink a lot of these.
It's
so it's nice and light.
Yeah, you gotta love when you got a dark beer like this. That again, because there's still a lot of people out there that assume that a dark beer is going to be heavy and thick and all that. And they are. Some of them are.
This is super good though. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah. So starting off on a serious note, y'all. We have an unfortunate announcement to make that our newest co-host, Brianna, her mother passed. And Doug and I want to send condolences to Brianna and her family at this tough time. The thing about it is not only is Brianna a fan of ours and part of our family, her mother was a big supporter of ours, Doug, and she loved watching every single time that Brianna was on. So with that being said, y'all, we are giving Brianna whatever time she needs. If she doesn't ever come back, then that's what she chooses. But we will welcome her back whenever she wants to grace us again with our presence. And Doug, you've had anything to say?
No, just it was a bit shocking when she told us, and like you said, her mom would tune into the show and make comments and be right along with us.
Her mom loved us.
Yeah, right. And it's and our condolences and all the virtual hugs we can send her way.
Yep, and when she can come back, she's welcome. And Doug and I aren't approaching that with her. Obviously, it may be even tougher for her to come back here, given the connection that her mom had with us and the whole thing. So we're just going to keep our, keep her in your whatever y'all do. If it's prayers, if it's thoughts, if it's love, if it's any, whatever that is, keep Brianna there for us, please. Doug. That being said, let's see. We have things to catch up on. You have something you want to talk about here, and I need to figure out how to do this.
You're out of practice, man.
Last week. You said you were bad last week, but I enjoyed it. From the hotel, I didn't see anything really bad. Maybe I missed it, but anyway, we got this. All right, Doug, you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, so Chuck Wendig, who has been on the show before, but I think he was on it was Meet My Friends or something to that effect because he couldn't make the Friday night show. Is out on a book tour. Staircase in the Woods is his new book. I am actually going to Midtown Scholar in Harrisburg on Thursday to go see him for his book tour. So that's happening right now. If you've not read any of his stuff, it's really super interesting. I don't know where he gets his ideas, and I'm a writer, and I don't know where he comes up with some of this stuff, but yeah. He's also going to be there with a guy named Nat Cassidy, who's a fairly new writer who is getting a lot of hoopla around his books. So yeah, that's at Midtown Scholar. He'll also be at Doylestown Books near Philly and at Barnes & Noble in Philly. So that's Barnes & Noble in Philly's tomorrow in Doylestown, which is, I think more in his neck of the woods because Doylestown Book is his preferred bookstore, I know. And then he'll go to Midtown Scholar. So, and he's been a bunch of places, but like I said, if you can, order it where you can. Bookshop.org is a good resource for that, to get away from the obvious Bezos fuckery. So, but if you have to order from there, you have to order from there. Listen, it's, Amazon's kind of ubiquitous in our society now, so it's kind of hard to get away from it in some respects. So, but if you can, pick it up. If you can afford it, it's out in hardcover now. If you want to wait, usually like 8 to 9 months, then a soft cover comes out, and so it's usually a little bit more affordable. Go to your library. He always promotes libraries. If you can find that at your library, do that too.
Yeah, and if from what I hear, and I've never read the books, but a fair comparison of Chuck. I've seen a couple people use that Stephen King reference, y'all. So he's, no one's Stephen King. We're not saying that, but we're saying that there's a lot of Stephen King-ish vibes with him, for that matter. So if y'all looking for what genre that is, and I don't know, Chuck's a great guy, and to not to correct Doug, but to make sure that we know, it was definitely Brothers and Booze. But it was Brothers and Booze on like a Wednesday or something.
Oh, that's right. We did a special edition of Brothers and Booze.
Yeah. Right. It was something like that. Yeah. But whatever, just to make sure. So if y'all looking for it, you can go to Daddy Porter, Brothers and Booze, and then Chuck, or even just put Chuck Wendig and Brothers and Booze, and you'll find it pretty easy. So that's cool. Yeah, and Chuck's a great guy. And anytime we can get him back, we can. And he looks like real quick, Doug. It looks like he's going around town here. He's going around the country. So
yep,
that's cool.
And
cool.
Some of the people that have been with him, like Cynthia Paleo, she's run a bunch of awards for her writing. Clay McLeod Chapman is a great writer too, and he's just this sort of high energy oddball. And so I would have, I bet you that'll be great. And Nat Cassidy, I don't know very well, but I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get some of his stuff too.
Also, y'all, Chuck wrote for the Star Wars series too. So he's not just in one lane, y'all. He's kind of all over the place. And a fun fact that Doug likes to talk about, and he likes to talk about, is he's an apple lover. So he likes apples like we like beer. So that's kind of weird, but people think the way we like beer is weird. So there you go.
Yeah, he likes the heirloom apples. He likes finding very weird, off the wall apples. So which are not easy to find. So,
and we like weird off the wall beers. So
like a black Colt.
There you go with that. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. It's good. It's good. All right, Doug. So yeah, I've been away, y'all. And if y'all been following me on certain medias, y'all have been able to see. So I think we're putting it under this. So yeah, Doug. The last couple of weeks have been exciting, to say the least. So y'all probably know a bunch about what I'm gonna talk about, but most of y'all don't know about this. Oh, that's not it. Bye, Chuck. That. Yeah. So I was in the ER, y'all, for a little bit.
Oh, looks like Greg dropped here super quick, so I'm gonna blather here for a few minutes. But yeah, Greg talks about he's in the hospital. What timing, Greg?
I don't know what the hell's going on. That's not the first time I did that recently. So yeah, I was in the hospital, y'all. Right before all this stuff happened. Right, it was a week before the Kendrick concert. Um, Long story shorter, Doug, I've developed, it appears, but we haven't fully diagnosed, irregular heartbeat kind of thing going on. And that kind of brings on some palpitations. So then I had to go through all these tests and do all these things. And at some point, even the whole Kendrick concert was in question or whether I could go on it or not. So it was kind of it was interesting for a while there. But I'm doing better. And that's all that matters, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Me.
And we're glad you're better, man. We all are.
I'm glad I'm better. I mean, if y'all are, that's great.
Yeah, but we all are too. It's not just you, my guy.
Okay, great. Go good. Well, that's good. That's good. No, I know. So soon after that though, Doug, I had the wonderful experience of doing a collab beer with our friends at Gathering Place Brewing. So that was great. That's the picture of all of us doing that. So that was fun. That's Joe on the right there. You see Mr. Book there, Joel. You see Mr. Beer Baron there. I'm in the back, and then on the left there is the two brewers. You don't see Landon. Landon cannot make it for that, but Landon will be at Lager and Friends, y'all. But as you can see, we had a really good time brewing on their 1-barrel system. So it's only going to be like, two barrels of beer, one for the festival and then one for or one bigger one for a party that we're going to do the night before. And also Joe said that we could take some home if we wanted. So that'll be fun. Yeah, look, we even got Joel's kid working. Yeah, the child labor. Don't call the child labor laws on the show. It was yeah, here's us putting in the hop edition, doing the heart. This is like right after I got out of the hospital, so I wasn't doing that much. But I did add the hop edition there. Oh, that's not a good picture. Yep, and yeah, so there's a brewer and Chris and Joel. So it was a good time, man. It was a good time had by all. The beer comes out at Lager and Friends, y'all. Lager and Friends for y'all. It's Saturday, May 31st. From 12 to 4 in Milwaukee, right by where Gathering Place is. If anybody's near, anybody wants to come in, it's the only time you could probably drink the beer, unless you're at the party, or you come to my house where I may have some. And yeah, so we're really excited about that. And I just want to say thank Gathering Place again for doing this for Badger Beer Report. And yeah, Doug, any comments, questions, concerns, issues on that one?
I'm super psyched that you guys got to brew beer. I really am, and just seeing like the pictures, like there was other pictures I saw of Joel with his kids there, and just like you had one where you were, I think, was one of your kids there too, or was it just maybe that?
Yeah, one of my we call him Panda on the internet. Panda was there, and he helped brew beer, and he also was sipping with us, which was kind of weird because he's not a beer drinker at all. And even when we left, Doug, he was like, "I'm cool with just tasting beer, but I'm probably going to be that DD guy that drives people around." And I was like, "No, that's cool, but remember, drunk people are." I don't know if you want to do that all the time.
Yeah, don't do that with doing it with family and friends. Don't do it for don't become like an Uber driver or do that shit.
Right. But it was great. It was a great experience. It was fun. And yeah, so that happened 2 days before this. So US Bank Stadium is where Kendrick Lamar and SZA had their first concert. And so I was there for that. Kendrick Lamar was Amazing, Doug. Amazing. SZA was amazing. I don't know what song that was. That was some song. The point is, the point is that the concert was great. It had all kinds of like they just put on a stadium show. I'm telling you, the the chemistry between SZA and Kendrick musically is just off the charts. Wild. I don't know if we've seen anybody else like this, Doug, in our whole lives. Actually, I don't. Somebody had some other. I forget. There's been some other like comparisons, but like to have like a rapper and like the R&B and they just mix and they're just again the songs that they played together were probably the best songs of the concert. As opposed to their individual songs, and we know Kendrick has a great library and says it has a great library. I have my first soundscape, y'all's out there. It's a 30-minute review of the concert, so y'all can hear me talk about it. Pretty in depth. 51 songs though. They played 51 songs.
Damn.
Yeah. And the highlight of it was SZA singing that fucking sexy red Drake song, "Hands on Your Knees, Hands on Your Knees." That was amazing. Anyway, so SZA got into the Drake trolling. There was skits. There was Kendrick, and then it was SZA, and it was Kendrick, and it was SZA and Kendrick, and then it was Kendrick, and it was SZA, and it was back and forth, and it was too much, Dean. It was just great. It was great. So can't say enough about that. So before that, Doug, or after that, I'm forgetting. I met up with these guys at Urban Harvest. We'll get back to that. And then I met up with Kyle too while I was up there. Two nice. Past guests. Yeah, and we had dinner with Paige and Rick, and that was just great. They're great. You could see that we were all happy there. And then I met up with Kyle at a taco shop, and our families got to meet. So that was cool. So that was my Twin Cities experience, Doug. That was fun. Stadium tours, Doug. I think we're I'm coming up on the next Mortal Content, right?
Yes, that is coming May 13th.
2 weeks. Yeah. Doug, I really would like to talk about stadium tours there. Because Kendrick was one of my only 2 stadium tours or tours that I went at. I saw Pink Floyd at the Vet, and I saw Kendrick at US Bank. And those are the only 2 stadium shows that I've ever seen. Doug, do you know how many stadium shows you've been to? Not arena, stadium. Yeah.
Dave Matthews twice. My ex-wife Dave Matthews. Honestly, they're great live. As much as I'm not, their music's fine, but they're great live. So, however, if you are not a person who likes weed, do not go to a Dave Matthews concert because it is just a cloud of weed all the time around you. So,
that could help me get through the Dave Matthews concert, so I'm good.
Maybe. I went and I did see I saw Rush in concert 4 times, and one of them was a stadium. And their opening band was Blues Traveler, and that was before anybody knew who Blues Traveler was. I didn't know who the fuck they were. I'm like, who the fuck is this? They're great.
Okay.
So
3, Doug,
and so that and the other one I saw in a stadium was MC Hammer.
Wow,
that was back
when I was he with
Cool C. Do you remember Cool C?
Damn.
The Glamorous
MC
Life.
Hammer was. Yeah, MC Hammer was big enough for stadium tours because I was telling my kids that like you got to be big to be in the stadium tour, especially
but
now.
You got to remember, but he was massive for.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but what I was telling my sons is that like I love Kendrick Lamar. Y'all know, like I'm a huge Kendrick stan, all that shit, but I don't know if he could do it himself. Honestly, a stadium tour. Now with SZA, I think y'all, and by y'all I don't mean you specifically, I mean people in general, are labeling this as Kendrick Lamar concert, but it's absolutely Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And SZA's absolutely part of the draw. I can tell you by the fan reaction and by the crowd reaction. So I don't know if Kendrick could have sold all these places out without SZA. I'm just saying, and I'm a Kendrick fan with the Kendrick shirt, y'all. But yeah. So like, you got to be Doug. You got to be good to. I mean, you got to be big at that moment. You know what I'm saying? To sell out a stadium tour, like it's just not. It just doesn't work that way. And I think that you're a person who's been to. I would say at this point, maybe you'll be able to correct me, but hundreds of concerts, and you've only been to, or at least 100. You've only been to 4 stadium concerts. So my point is that, like, they're not rare, but like going to one is rare, if that makes sense. I mean, we got a handful of people out there now running around. I mean, we just had Taylor, we got Beyonce, we got Kendrick, and we got a couple other people running around, but it's not that many. Post Malone and Jelly Roll, for example, great example there. You got to have 2 of them. You can't. Post Malone couldn't just sell out a stadium tour himself. He just couldn't. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Now, he's not Beyonce. He's not Taylor. He's not. You know what I mean? Like these. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So like Kendrick Lamar and SZA, that makes sense, because SZA is, the best R&B artist. Clicks and money wise at the moment, y'all. I mean, I'm not, best is subjective, not in the way I'm using it though. So, I was, kind of blown away about being able to go to a stadium concert. They just don't happen all the time, y'all. So, it was great.
So I have one question then. I saw one concert in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, which is a basketball arena. So that's an arena rather than a stadium. So
great.
And I saw Billy Joel and Elton John in concert. That was when they doing a small tour together. That was something my ex-wife liked, both of them.
Arena though, right?
It was an arena, not really a stadium. Okay. So I would guess that would be more like it.
Because stadiums, I mean, arenas, you're kind of capped at like, 20, 30. The concert I went to was 66. So you know what I mean? It's the size, and it's also the scale, Doug, in my opinion. Like, you have to put on a show that like everybody could see, like, big and far. And that was one of the problems I did have, y'all, was that, or not we had that SZA's audio was horrible at points, especially when she would reach high notes. It would become distorted, and you could tell that it wasn't her singing bad. You could tell that it was the audio system struggling to keep up with her high pitch, if that makes sense. Her songs with Kendrick were fine, but like their lower tone, Kendrick is a lower tone. He can go high pitch a little bit, but you know what I mean? He's lower tone. Guy. So like they had him dialed in. I hope they got SZA down in these next venues, because she's just great. She's fucking great. But like her voice didn't sound great in a lot of stretches during the concert, unfortunately. So
that's a bummer, but what can you do?
Yeah. But I mean, you could tell it was, it wasn't her, and it wasn't like, oh, SZA's not, you know what I mean? No. She was good. She was good. So that was 1 week, Doug. So then the week after, I found myself here at Wrigley Field, which my friends from back east, were talking about going to. So the story goes, they were talking about going to Toronto, Doug, to see they're big Philly fans, and they like to go around and see the Phillies. But once Jackass got elected, it kind of threw all this, like, traveling and everything. And so they're like, hey, why don't we just go, instead of going to Toronto, why don't we go to Wrigley? And I don't know, they were just talking to me about it. And I was like, I'll come in on the train and go to Wrigley. I don't even like baseball, but I'll go to Wrigley because
it's an iconic park.
Yeah, look at it. It's beautiful.
You couldn't have asked for a better day either. Look how nice that day was.
Hold on. We could have asked for a better day, actually, because what that picture does not show was the fucking sustained 15-mile-an-hour, 35-degree wind, Doug. It was cold. It was like cheeky cold on your face. It was so. Oh well, you could see the hat. You can see the winter hats here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
the sky was nice blue. And
no. It was picture perfect for sure. But like it was cold, and then under the lap like that, you know what I mean? We weren't getting any sun.
You're in the wind tunnel.
And it was this, and it was literally sustained. Like it did not stop for the whole 9 innings. So it was cold, but it was fun though. It was fun. Wrigley is obviously an iconic place. The thing about it is, okay, that doesn't look like much, y'all, but that was probably one of the best Chicago dogs I've had probably in my life. I split it with somebody who I went with, because I shouldn't be eating a whole one of those, unfortunately, Doug. My
No,
ones,
no, we
yeah.
shouldn't.
My days of eating those and like 2 and 3 of those in one sitting are so far done, unfortunately. But um yeah, it was that hot dog there. I will always remember that, actually. And it was excellent, and I love a good Chicago dog, and of course, no ketchup, you heathens. Um Not on a Chicago dog. Come on now.
That's true.
So
You
anyway.
can't do it because all the stuff they put on Chicago dog, that would not go well.
Right. But so I had my Chicago dog there, and like, I don't know, this is a little snippet of what Wrigley looked like inside, dude. It really gave off like, Doug, it didn't feel as old as it should, if that makes sense. It was all renovated. It was all nice. Don't get me wrong. Wrigley is nice. Go. It's great. It's iconic. It's all that. But I was expecting it to have an older feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they had renovated it, and it looks good, and I'm not even going to be bitching about it, because it was just a great fucking time. And when I always remember when I went to Wrigley Field, and I'm not even Doug, I'm not a baseball fan. I'm about as much of a baseball fan as you, and
Yeah,
I just
pretty much.
enjoyed that. Yeah, and I just enjoyed my friends loved it. The Phillies won. And my friends had a great time. So that's really what I was there for, if that makes sense, was just being with my friends and all that. I had a fucking weird Uber driver on the way in. The dude was this. It was so bad, Doug, that like I was just like sitting in the car and I didn't want to talk to the dude. Well, we get in, y'all, and he's like, I got 3 questions for you. And we're like, what? And like one of them was like, okay, do you want to listen to music? Do you want us to do karaoke? What?
This is
And I
cash
forget.
cab. What the fuck is going
I literally thought the fucking lights were gonna go off on the roof. I'm not even joking, actually. And the dude was an idiot, though. The dude was an idiot. So it got to be so bad that like I was just trying to ignore them. And like the person that was with me, and we were going, and we just didn't want to talk. So then I just started doing Badger Beer Report social media. You can literally see a post from last Saturday at the time I was going because I just needed to get my mind off of it, and I didn't want to take any of that bad energy, if you know what I'm saying. I actually I literally believe in bad energy, dog. I believe that people can give off bad energy, and I was like going to meet my friends to the park and all that, and I was like, nah, I'm not getting your bad energy, dude. So but yeah, we ended up getting there good. And I don't know, that this shit made me fucking laugh.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow. Oh my God.
They're savage there, man. Chicago fans. You ain't gonna fuck with them, Doug. You're not gonna do that. That was fun. And then I don't know, I took a picture of these guys. I wish I would have got closer, but they were just like a drum band coming out. This is like coming out of Wrigley Field here. You can see that's
yeah.
Wrigleyville. Yeah. So yeah, Wrigley was fun. Chicago was great. I did all the Chicago things, man. Went to Garrett's Popcorn. I don't know. Remember, Doug, we had that Garrett's Popcorn beer from Revolution. Yeah, Garrett's Popcorn.
That's right.
Yeah. Did that. That was good. Let's see. Of course, I did some breweries, y'all. This is the one I made it to. It was a block away from our hotel. Crushed by Giants. And yeah, it was cool. It was actually on the second floor there, which I thought was interesting. And then yeah, I don't know. That was a picture of the beer, and that's probably all I drank of the beer there. It was a little poor, and like I don't know, you could see the street there, but I don't know. I wasn't. You ever go to a brewery and you just weren't in a mood for beer? It was just one of those times. I just was not in the mood to drink beer. I was just like, I don't know, just give me a small pour of your Kolsch or whatever, or Czech lager or something, and it was good, but it wasn't like. I think I even put in our side group. I was like, I just wasn't in the mood for beer, and I don't know. I just almost just felt compelled. We were literally there for lunch, though. We weren't there for beer. But Yeah, JSG. Garrett's popcorn is yeah. It's one of those Chicago things you got to do. Chicago dog, Garrett's popcorn. Of course, pizza. We did that too. I'll spare Doug those pizza pictures because Doug's gonna bitch about that probably.
I just did. Did you
Um,
go deep dish style or did you do the tavern style or did you do both?
um well, the people we were with did the deep dish and we did the tavern. So the tavern was the thin round. It was
Yeah,
excellente.
the people who are Chicagoans always say that Chicago pizza is not deep dish; it's the tavern style. So, but I feel I remember we had Jenny Flaffen from Dovetail, and she's like, "No, it's
Yeah.
tavern style. That's the pizza of Chicago." So, I was like,
Oh, it's the tavern style, not the deep dish. Okay.
exactly. So,
All right. And then yeah, I mentioned that we took the train, and that was the Union Station there. It's a really pretty place. And the train was pretty good. The train was fine. I don't know.
how
It's
long's the
cool.
train ride? How long's the train ride from Chicago home?
It was 3 hours, but it went really fast. It was
That's
three
not
hours,
bad.
but it goes fast. Yeah, not bad at all. It's probably like 3 to drive and less hassle. Um, so yeah, that was good. That was good. So yeah, Doug, other things I did randomly was I think and I have something to send you. This is not a great picture, but this is Venture's new place in Brookfield. I didn't really get many good pictures of there. One of the reasons why I didn't take any pictures outside is because the next door neighbors at fucking Venture Brewing are a bunch of fucking assholes, in my opinion.
Oh,
They have a whole bunch of nice, wonderful Trump stuff, and they also have like all these wonderful religion lawn ornaments of Mary and a manger and all this bullshit. And I say it's bullshit not because of religion, because I do my best to be respectful to religious people, even though I'm not religion. Why it's bullshit is because it's up next against the Trump shit, and I'm just not doing that, y'all. So coming
mhm.
on the way out of Venture Brewing, I was yelling at this house, and I'm rarely triggered by things, but I am when you mix religion and Trump. That's when I'm going to get pissed the fuck off, because I had a grandmother, y'all, as I love to tell the story, that was literally religious, and she was not around for the rise of Trump. Thank God for her. But she was literally fucking like what a religious person should be. She was giving, she was caring, she did all the religious things, but she wasn't a fucking asshole. And she didn't perpetuate assholism and fucking bullshit and horse shit. So fuck you, whoever lives next to fucking Venture Brewing. Fuck you. And another reason I don't like them, Doug, is because I don't know if you remember this, during the election, they centered one of these fucking stupid MAGA signs right next to, like, as close as they could get to the property line of fucking Venture Brewing, who we know don't fucking fuck with any of that shit. But if you would take a picture of Venture Brewing, that fucking stupid MAGA sign would show the fuck up. So it just infuriates me that like that is just right next to one of my favorite breweries in the state, and like they have to deal with that, and it's fine. Actually, Venture Brewing and Brookfield, Wisconsin is in a great spot. And I don't know, there's like one other coffee place there. There's no brewery. It's a really it's like a quote unquote affluent suburb of Milwaukee. And it's in the desert. So it's perfect for them. It's great as long as they can deal with it. I couldn't, because I would be yelling at you bitches every fucking time I went there. So I will probably not be. Y'all know I love Simon and Rob like fucking as much as a guy can love a guy platonically. I love those guys and I love their brewery, but I will not be returning to Brookfield because I'm fucking triggered by the house that's next door. I can go to the east and get everything Venture that I want and not have to ever go there ever again. Fuck you. And I know you're not watching because you're not savvy enough to be watching me. And if you are, double fuck you. So anyway, I didn't mean to be negative, bro, but sorry. Anyway, how do
Dude,
you
it's all
turn? Y'all turn a negative time and or a very positive time because I was happy to like crunchy. But I gave him my mind, and even my son who was with me was like, "Oh, they're home. They might be looking out the window." I was like, "Oh, great! Hopefully they fucking hear me." And I was just like, you can't be religious and you can't be for Trump. So it's not a business, it's a house actually, JG, and they're big Trump fans. They got signs and stickers and bumper stickers and the Virgin Mary all over the place. It's so it wouldn't be so triggering if it wasn't for like the religious symbols with it. So yeah. Hell yeah. I did. Yeah, hold on, Amani. You're late, so you can get the so here's proof, Amani, that I kind of brewed a beer. I mostly brewed a beer. I threw in the hops. I did a little bit, but this is Amani, this is like 2 days after this. So I was taking it easy actually. But yes, we brewed a beer, Amani. And yeah. Yeah, JC. Literally, oh Christ. Right. Right. Correct. Right. So, Doug, I went to a couple other things here before we wrap up my little escapades of the past couple weeks. Where are y'all? Let's see. Oh yeah, Doug, your mic is low. Okay, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to be a little more close, and all my settings are good.
Sounds good. Sounds good now.
Maybe,
so
earlier.
So, Doug, you ever go to a brewery and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you got to go to this brewery. This brewery is amazing. If you don't go to this brewery when you can, you got to go to this brewery. I'm telling you, you got to go to this brewery." Well, that was Brewery Nonic for me. Not only Paige and Rick told me, or Paige told me to go there. Landon told me to go there. Joel told me to go there. Everybody told me to go there. And I rolled up, Doug, at this place, like really, really extremely skeptical about everything. I was like, nah, like it can't be this good. Brewery Nonic was that fucking good. It's in this old train station in Menominee, Wisconsin. And it's just fucking excellent, dog. Everything that I tried there was tops and the shit. But I don't know if people saw, or if people I don't know how many people follow Badger Beer Report or whatever, but I put some pictures out there, and then I got I tried almost everything. Again, it was just a great trip. I got there's like 8 taps. I tried to fly the floor, started talking to the lady. It comes out that I'm so Doug, I don't think Badger Beer Report or Hour was going on when you and I were hanging out. But one of the things I don't like to do, Doug, is to show up to a thing and tell everybody that I'm with some beer media thing. In fact, I avoid it. I don't really try to talk about it unless I engage with the person. So I engaged with the person, and we got to that part, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So she just started giving me like all these samples to try and all that. So I ended up trying almost everything that they had, and it was excellent. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a 4-pack home. So I took a 4-pack. But we were going to Minneapolis for Kendrick. We weren't coming home. So I took a 4-pack, and then we get to where we're going, and my oldest was like, "Yo, you better check your beer because there's some wetness down where it was, and I don't think it's water." So I checked the beer, Doug, and all 4 of the cans were leaking. So yeah, and I was like, "Oh damn!" So then I get on. So I had to like Brewery Nonic because I didn't like them before on Facebook. So I liked them, and then I sent them a message, and within 5 minutes, Doug, they had my shit refunded, and the owner told me to come back on Monday, to grab another 4-pack for free. So I got refunded, and then I ended up meeting the owner. This is right here. And I don't know, he just gave me a 4-pack, and just said, "I'm sorry that you had to come out of your way." And I was like, "Nah, man, that's cool." But like this right here, this picture, y'all, is what customer service should look like. Like, we've heard too many times where we've had exploding cans, exploding bottles. You know what I'm talking about, Doug, over the years. And breweries just either ignore it, they don't even respond, they don't do anything for you. And Brewery Nonic was like, "Nope, come back, refund it." It was just like everything. And again, I don't think that they knew that I was with Badger Beer Report, if that makes sense. I'm not sure, but I can almost confirm that they just didn't know, and it wasn't about that either. So like, it was just about doing the right thing. So shout out to Ryan from Brewery Nonic. And if y'all follow Badger Beer Report, we will be talking to him, I think, next week. So
nice.
Yeah. So Any comments, Doug, on any of this before I get to
No,
what I
just
have
other
left?
than
I saw some.
like, well, your point about like service, that's service. That's what you want to know. If you're in the business of serving people, that is how you do good customer service. You take the hit on a 4-pack, but like what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for those folks to come back, spread good word of mouth for you. Like that's the thing is like it's I don't know. I'm glad they did that for you.
Also, I think there's a correlation between good customer service and good beer.
That's fair.
And speaking of good beer, Doug, I think I need to go get my second. We've been yapping here. We should get to
Yeah, I'm ready when you
what
are.
is the
Go ahead.
next?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what was the next one? Oh,
Pilsner.
it's yeah, okay. Be right back.
Yes. So I am a bit jealous that Greg got to go to Nanak. He mentioned it, and the problem is I was working at the time, and he said, "Do you want anything from there?" I'm like, "I'm in the middle of something, and I can't respond," and I felt bad because I think I've heard Joel Geyer talk about it before, and I was like, "Oh." So unfortunately, I missed out on having Greg pick me up some of the Nanak stuff, but hey,
Yeah, you'll get what I got. You'll get one of what I got because you know me. I got a 4-pack and I won't drink it. It's a black IPA, Doug.
oh,
Or no, a black lager, something, whatever.
Yeah.
It was black. And speaking of black, Doug, right? We have
some clean
black
sweep.
in this house. Yes.
2 locals. Big thanks to Amani for shipping this up.
Yes, Amani is here. Hopefully he's still here. 2 locals is from my home neighborhood, West Philly. Born and raised in the playground is where I spent some of my days. Some, not all. I was in the streets though. But yeah, clean sweep. I think we've had this one before, right, Doug?
Yeah, they had it at Barrel and Flow. I remember having it there. So cheers to you, sir.
That's fresh. That's fresh. That's fresh. That's fresh.
Yep. March 6th of this year. That's fresh. Fresh.
It tastes fresher than that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in May. It tastes fresher than that. That's excellent. Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, Doug, I went to there's some other breweries I went to. This is the one I went to with Rick and Paige, Urban Growler.
Okay.
That was fun. They had a vanilla latte beer, Doug. It was vanilla latte Kolsch, I believe. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay.
It was good.
All right.
He also had a nice jalapeno one where it was the jalapenos, Doug. It wasn't the heat, if that makes sense. That jalapeno taste, you know what I mean? But not the heat with the jalapeno. Just a little, not that. It was really nice. And yeah, went to Oliphant Brewing. One of my favorites, Doug, you know. Unfortunately, Doug, this is probably my worst beer stop out of all my beer stops through all these. I was surprised too, Doug. I was surprised. But it's fun in there, as you can see. The help is fun.
Two plays to be phased. What a great name.
Yeah, look at all these different ones. They got the 2 pickle beers there. They got they have, they have a really great selection, and they also have Oliphant's probably one of our pioneers, Doug, of the THC drinks. They're one of the first ones out there. They're mass produced, meaning Oliphant's up by Twin Cities, y'all. It's probably like a half an hour away from Minnesota, maybe 20 minutes from Minnesota. So it's up there, and we get all their stuff down here, their THC stuff. And as you can see here in this picture, so everything that's not in the cooler, y'all, everything in the cooler is beer. Everything not in the cooler is THC stuff. And then on the top there, you can see like there's gummies and stuff. So they really jumped into the THC stuff hard. Lady of this house bought herself a case because that's how she rolls. And yeah, so Oliphant was interesting. That was my reaction when I had their strawberry pickle beer.
Oh,
Nah,
pickle beer, no.
nah,
That's immediate
nah.
no. Straight to jail.
Look, I like pickle beers. I like them. Don't get me wrong. But this strawberry one, it was a mess. It was a complete mess. And I even had to take a picture. And you know I'm not critical, Doug, like this, as far as like you know what I mean? But I didn't put this out. This is the first time y'all saw it. I didn't put this out on Badger Beer Report, but I did say that it was weird. I didn't want to like this. I don't want to do any disparaging, if that makes sense. But it was bad in my opinion. It's just a bad recipe. But if they're selling it, then it can't be that bad. So the MG counts, Daniel, go from 5 to 50 per can. And Oliphant was the one who's been doing. They've been pushing it as far as this goes. They're the 50 per can ones, 25s, 50s, no bigger than that. You got to go to Vegas for the 100s because I saw them out there. But yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah. And then I don't know. There was some blackberry one that we don't see down in Madison, so it just got grabbed. It's got grabbed up there. So yeah, another wonderful place that I went to is one of my favorite places in the world. Actually, one of my favorite breweries in the world, Black Stack. You saw I had a picture, I grabbed a T-shirt from there. I don't know, like it's just. I don't know. There's something about this stack that just sets the fucking ambiance before you even get in there. But Doug, one of the things about Black Stack is they have over 100 plants in there. Like it's an industrial, like you know what I mean, it's an industrial old, you know, they converted a factory. Obviously because it has a big Black Stack out front. But inside they've made it like some kind of oasis, Doug, with all these different like tropical plants all over the place, and
Interesting.
it's just great. It's just a really, really good vibe there. And I thought I had a picture of the beer there. Nope. And then lastly, Doug, I went to a place called on the way home called Gravity Box. And this is so the interesting thing about this one is it's right off the highway here, and it's an all Republican like county kind of thing. So of course, you know, I
saunter in.
Right. And it's funny because on the way there, first of all, when I got in there's no one in there, but I was coming out and there was someone coming in, and the people that were coming in were like, "Oh, hi, nice," and they held the door open for me and everything. Older white couple, right? So I went in the Gravity Box. I'll tell you about that. I come back out, and my family was like, "Wait, how were those people that you walked by?" And I was like, "I don't know. They were nice enough. They held the door open for me. We're all like pleasant." He's like, "Oh, they were Trump supporters because they got into this car and they had Trump signs on the thing." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So get into Gravity Box. I don't have any pictures, but the beer was excellent, Doug, and it was great because the bartender described herself as, quote, a librarian in a conservative town. So I was like, oh, okay. And like we didn't have to say anything more, and I just felt really comfortable there. The beers are great. If y'all ever, I mean, you know, Wisconsin people, you got to check out Gravity Box. And I believe good people too, because she gave me she's like, "Yeah, we're good here." Like, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have this in Wisconsin. You know, again, I've talked about it a gazillion times about how doing Badger Beer Report has some bumps as far as dealing with breweries who are, you know, compromised, for lack of a better word. I'm going out to YouTube here, so I'll be nice. And you know, we are objective in the manner of we will report you if you make news. We are not objective in a way that we're not going to promote you if we find out that you are doing perpetual harm to people or you don't have a safe place for everybody, because breweries should be a safe space for everyone. Okay, breweries should be a safe place. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in Spooner, Wisconsin, or if you're in Madison, Wisconsin. You should be fucking good for everyone. And I'm even talking to my friend Monaqua, who just said on his thing that he doesn't want MAGA people up in his brewery. And I understand all that. But at the same time, dude, you're acting like the MAGA people who don't want trans people in their breweries. So there has to be something where we can. Tough times out there. Tough times out there. Anyway,
Yeah.
Doug, that was my trip, and that was all the different things that I did and how it was fun, especially after being in the hospital. And I'm good for a while, dude. I'm tired. I'm still like taking naps from like 2 weeks ago.
Your body's still catching up, my guy. Like seriously, it's just okay. Like
The
I
getting
wish I
old
could
thing
take
is
naps. I wish I could take naps. I just can't.
nah. I
When
don't
it's
get. I don't have
daylight,
a
I'm
choice.
when it's daylight, I am awake. Like I can't. If I, the only time that I can nap is if I am just super sick. That's the only time that happens. But
Well, then I don't. Sometimes I don't get to sleep till late. So then it's almost like my
yeah,
body's like, you need to go to. You need to go lay down, dude, or you're gonna like crash the fuck out. So, yeah, Doug, that was. I mean, I can't complain. Man. It was great time.
awesome.
So what's been going? Last week was a great show, Doug. I was in my hotel room, and you had Lauren and Jessica, right?
No, Julia De Caneva.
Julia, I'm sorry. Yeah, Julia. Yeah, and Julia was excellent. And y'all were talking about food. That was like wild. How it was just wild to hear Julia's journey in food. And I hope that a lot of people saw that, because I hope that it eventually would help a lot of people, because I think a lot of people just grind through their because I know some people close to me that just grind through their stomach problems. You know what I mean? Like they just deal. Like they're just like, all right, I know this is I'm gonna eat this, but I know it's gonna fuck up my stomach, and then it fucks with their stomach, and then you know what I mean. So shout out to Julia for just going through that and being able to tell that story.
Yeah, I mean, she did like, I'm going to do the most restrictive diet possible to figure out what I can and can't eat. That's not me. Like I like too much food, but I also don't have digestive issues. So I'm
Yeah, I
keeping it.
don't, not like that. I mean, I think we all go through it, you know what I mean? But not like to that level, or
Yeah.
even, you know what I mean? Like Daniel can have dairy, right?
No,
Is that what it is?
dairy. Yep.
Right, all right. So like some folks just go through, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. I thought we had a sports ball thing, but I don't think we did, Doug. I thought we had a sports ball transition, but we don't.
I don't know. I didn't. Hey, as someone who tried to produce last week, and by the way, you said it didn't sound bad. You missed the very beginning when I
Oh,
could hear all this echo, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I had to rebuild the show, restart it, and then I figure out I had the volume on YouTube because I had YouTube on a separate screen so I could comment. I had left the volume on, so I was hearing the volume from YouTube and the volume from the show, and it was like messing me up. And that's why I don't produce this show, folks. This is why I leave the hard shit to Greg, and I just show up and act like an idiot for 2 hours.
Oh, that's fucking great. That shit's funny. Actually, Doug, for that we could do what the fuck?
What the fuck is right? Like I was like, why is this off? And Lauren's
Right.
like, it sounds fine to me. And I'm like, it's driving me nuts because it was like the YouTube was slightly behind. You know, it wasn't in sync. So it was like, whatever.
No,
it
never will be. Right.
So lesson
All right,
learned.
Doug. Yeah, we wanted to talk some sports ball. So I don't know. Let's talk we brought up our friend Brianna, who we talked a lot of sport. We talked a lot of basketball. And unfortunately, her mom passing superseded her coming back on to talk about the end of the March Madness, y'all. But we were trying to, but it happened in there, so we didn't. So yeah, Doug, the NBA final or the NBA playoffs are ongoing. There's a whole lot of shit going on. I don't know if anything jumps off at you that you want to start at. I mean, I got some things, but I'll let you jump. Where you at? You know, LeBron gone, Giannis gone. What do you got? Houston and Steph, is that tonight?
Yep, that's tonight. That's actually going on right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm grabbing my 6 remotes that I know Brianna somewhere is going to be fucking heckling me for, and I don't even have the fucking remote. So you start, and I'll go get my remote.
All right, so I have a few things that really are top of mind. Like the way that the Bucks lost that last game was one of the most incredible sequences of events. Like everything, it's overtime. The Bucks are up like 6 with like 30 seconds left, and everything had to go wrong for the Bucks, and everything had to go right for the Pacers, and it did. And the idea that the guy who was like the hero of it was the guy Gary Trent Jr. had 8 threes in the game that basically had Milwaukee up. Like he was like the hero of the game. I mean, besides Giannis, who is a freak of nature and just had 30 and 20 and 12, like he was. But they throw the ball to Gary Trent Jr. and it just goes between his legs like Bill Buckner for the Red Sox back in '86. And I picked that one specifically to irritate JHG, but because it was the Red Sox. But it was like one of the most incredibly like sequences of just like everything going wrong for one side and everything going right for the other, and just like Indiana's going to be Indiana and Cavs are going to be a great freaking series. 2 fast-paced teams that can score the shit out of the ball. That's going to be great. I will also say the Knicks beat the Pistons, but man, the Pistons. Go ahead.
Hold on. Before we get to that, can we go back to, because there's a couple of storylines I think I would love to explore here with Milwaukee, and then we'll get to the Knicks if you don't mind. So number one, Doug, what is your opinion on the confrontation between Halliburton's father and Giannis at the end of that game?
Halliburton's father went out of his way, and that was a dick move, but he did apologize for it later. Now, the weirder thing was, to me, was like, that was weird. And then it looked like Giannis was giving Ben Mathurin like a hug and, saying good job. And all of a sudden it turned into like this weird sort of pushy, aggressive thing. I don't know what that was. That was never explained. But listen, your son's in the NBA, great. Get your fucking ass away from the other team. Like, don't do that. Like, I get you were excited and there's the heat of the moment shit. If Giannis would have hit that dude, if he didn't know who that guy was and just laid him out, Giannis is huge. He's 6'11" with like a 8-foot waist. Like, what are you doing?
He's lucky that wasn't world meta peace.
Because that would have been laid out. That would have been
or anybody else. Like Giannis is the big gentle giant. He's not going to hurt anybody. So like that's a good person to do that if you're going to do that. And as a father, Doug, we know we want to root for our sons and our daughters, and we're as competitive as anything, but that you don't do that. That was just horrible. And again, I think he apologized, Doug. I don't know if that was forced. No. We know he apologized, but was it forced? And the reason I asked that is twofold. Number one, Mr. Halliburton, or what's the son's name? I forget. Tyrese, my bad. Tyrese Halliburton said during the press conference that my dad shouldn't have did that, and we're going to have a talk. And then he had a talk. Then he had a talk with the Indiana Pacers, who said they basically came to the conclusion that you're not coming to our games home and away. So then that's why I'm like, I think it's sincere, but I kind of, I'm not sure if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It felt sincere. I hope it's sincere. Just for him, just for his son. Like, you can't be doing that to your son. Like, to me, I'm not saying I'm bigger or better than him. I would never do that because I know the fucking shit that my son would get from that, if that makes sense. So, like, I'm not trying to do any under harm because I want to fucking talk smack and shit. I would kept my ass in the fucking stands and screaming. And lastly, Doug, or no, two more points. This Indiana, I don't know if y'all feel this or not, but this Indiana Milwaukee thing has become a fucking intense rivalry. Like, that is part of the intense rivalry. Like, these guys don't like each other really, really bad. And it's not wild. It's just interesting because, again, Milwaukee generally has the Bulls, you know what I mean, as like their main rival there. But like, this Indiana thing, because they've met, I think, in the playoffs now 2 times in a row. Last 2 years, I think. So yeah, that's pretty tight. So lastly, Doug, before we move on to the Knicks, what do you think? Do you think Giannis is done? And if so, done in Milwaukee? And if so, where's a good fit? Where would you like to see him go?
Okay, so I have another thing before we get to Giannis, but it's very brief. That's the end of Dame Lillard's career. He blew out his Achilles. He's 35 or 36. He's a small guard. If we see him, he's going to be a specialist. He's going to just have to be a shooter. And that's a shame because Dame Lillard was just great player, played in relative obscurity in Portland. So that's a bummer. I think because of that, because Dame's contract is like he's supposed to make like $50 million over each of the next two seasons. What do? They have no draft picks, nothing. So I think the reset button is there if Giannis wants to push it. I think now will Giannis do it? I don't know. He kind of, he's done. I kind of want to stay in Milwaukee, blah blah blah. But you know what, dude? Like but he's like a guy that wants to win championships, and he said that multiple times. The team that I think stands the best chance to get him is Houston. Houston has a ton of young guys, a ton of picks. They can throw all sorts of shit, and Milwaukee will finally have draft capital to build.
And they need somebody on offense, but they need someone on offense. But we'll get to that in a second.
But that's the other one would be now the other team that could do it is Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City's not fucking with that team. They're leaving it. They're letting it ride. You win 68 games in the regular season. You're not touching.
I don't know why you're so sure of that because they didn't let Harden and Westbrook and KD ride. So anyway, I'm just saying.
Fair. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on that. I think Giannis would be well suited to leave just because they're in no man's land. They have no ability. They're not going to be contending. The other thing is if he goes to Houston, then he's in the West, and the West is fucking stacked.
Yeah, if you're Milwaukee, you got to send them to the West too. By the way, you got to go out to the West. I saw some interesting things about San Antonio, and then of course you're always going to have the Lakers because the Lakers are
the Lakers are super unlikely. They just don't have enough stuff.
But yes, but my point is that they're like the Cowboys and the fucking Yankees. They traffic in anybody. Like anybody who's like out there as a free agent, they're like, yeah, we're interested. And in my opinion, they got to do that just for their fan base because their fan base expects it out of them. Like the Yankees and like the bigger teams. You know what I mean? Like the bigger teams expect to get the bigger players. Yes, the bigger teams expect to get the bigger players. So those front offices, in my opinion, have to play this game that they're in all the time, even when they're not. So with that being said, another big team, Doug, is the Knicks, and you want to talk about them.
Yeah, briefly, I think that what you saw out of the Knicks Pistons series is I was super impressed with the Pistons. They're young. They're super young. Like they don't have a lot of experience, but they were not afraid of the Knicks at all. And Cade Cunningham that guy's a fucking stud, and he's going to be a great player for a long time. They just need some experience, and they need a bit more shooting. And the Knicks are going to get demolished next round.
Where the Pistons have come from is impressive. That's just because they were historically horrible last year. So what else we got, Doug? We can't tiptoe around the Lakers.
Yeah, that was a terrible matchup for the Lakers. Also, they had no big guys, and Minnesota's big. They have a lot of big dudes. I used to like Anthony Edwards. For some reason this year, I have been like, what the? I don't know. Now listen, he's great, and he has an arrogance to him that is. It's not like arrogance in like, I'm the best there is. It's I'm the best, but I'm going to be jokey and funny about it. But I don't know. The Lakers should have gotten another big guy, and they needed a rim runner for Luka. I think Luka was fine, but he was also hurt. LeBron sprained his MCL in the last game. They weren't going to win that series. When they were down 3-1, they were done. They weren't going to win that series. They're just a flawed team.
Yeah, and so a couple of things in my opinion. Number one, They didn't have any defense because Luka does not play defense. He doesn't want to, or he's just too lazy, or he's fat, or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to go there. Just saying. He's just not really good defensively. So their defense was horrible. And LeBron is old, y'all. And I think the problem is that LeBron is so good at his old age. He gives off these vibes that, oh, we could still lean on him. I don't think we're at the lean on LeBron stage anymore, y'all. I think y'all need to get some people around him. And I think we saw him gas out at the end of these games. And he's just not that same guy that 10 years ago he was playing. What was it, Doug? 90 games a year because he was playing 60 and then he was playing 30. You know what I mean? 30 playoff games, getting to the finals every year. Of course, we hear about it because he lost 1,700,000 finals. Well, he was in every single final that he could be, y'all. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about LeBron in that way, but I am saying, yeah, the Lakers are flawed, and I don't know. I would still love to see LeBron get the fuck out of there, but he's not because he's got Bronny and all this other shit. So.
Bronny, he wants to stay in Hollywood. Yeah, so he's
whatever. Hey, man. Okay, so then that's your choice, and that's what you get, which is a flawed Laker team and a flawed Laker organization. People talk about how LeBron never won anything in the Laker land besides the bubble year. Do y'all remember how bad the Lakers were before you got there? Does anybody remember that? Between Kobe and Kobe, and actually not even between Kobe, because the last years of Kobe they were fucking horrible. So like. Let's not act like the Lakers are some like supreme wonderful organization. No, LeBron propped them up for how many years? Like, really, in my opinion. So, like, yeah, whatever. The Lakers, whatever. I just don't like. I like LeBron James as a person and as a player. So I would like to see him end on a good note. Is what I would like to see. Kind of like Steph Curry, one of my favorite players ever, and I would like to see him end on a good note. And I don't know what's going to happen here because this is really interesting with them in Houston. They should beat Houston, but Houston's a low key, man. Like their defense, you'll probably want to talk about here, Doug. Their defense is really, really tight. Offense, they look like a fucking mess half the time on the offensive side. Yeah, and it's funny because I think they're bringing GS, who's a really good offensive team. You know what I mean, with Steph and Butler playing well now and being happier than where he was. When Butler's happy, he plays good. For whatever happened in Miami. I'm not here to talk about that. Actually, you could probably talk about it more than me.
Minnesota happened in Philadelphia. Happened in Butler.
Sure. But while he is happy, you need to take advantage of that, and you can reap the benefits of him, if that makes sense. While he is happy, now you got to keep him happy. But my point is that like it seemed like Houston kind of drug GS into their like fuckery as far as offensive goes with their defense, if that makes sense. And like GS wasn't hitting stretches; they were hitting shots, all that during the series. What's your opinion on this series, Doug?
I think Houston is great defensively and a mess offensively. They have no go-to guy. I mean, you're not going to have games like what happens where Amen Thompson, who's an awesome defensive player, very mediocre offensive guy, have 25 points. That's not normal for him. Fred VanVleet, who's fucking 6'1" and slow as molasses, had 23 points that last game where they made everything. The first half, they scored 76 points. They hadn't scored 76 points and a half in fucking 20 years. Like, that's just not how Houston rolls. Now, they're young and they're fast, and Golden State is old, and they don't have a deep bench. So, the thing is, and there was 2 injuries in this series, too. Jimmy Butler got undercut by Amen Thompson and landed on his fucking back, so he missed a game. And then Steph's thumb's all fucked up. And then last game, Dylan Brooks, who's a gigantic piece of shit, talked very openly about how he was aiming to try to hurt his shooting thumb. Like, just not a good person. Also, I really dislike Houston's coach because he's just an asshole.
Who?
Ume Udoka, who is a former Boston Celtics coach and then got found out that he was having an affair with someone in the Boston Celtics organization. So they fired him. So, yeah. He may be a great coach. He's just an asshole. So,
all right. No, okay, cool. And lastly, we're not going to talk about the Celtics because fuck them. Yeah, I said it. Um, but I do want to mention before we get out of here, we move on from NBA is Pop retiring.
Yeah, I'm sad,
and,
dude.
yeah, what you got? What you got for Pop?
Pop was like the single best interview of a head coach in NBA, maybe history. Like, just they were doing this thing where they were showing on ESPN where I was watching it earlier and like pregames, and they were showing all these like sideline. They do the stupid things where like in the middle of the game and they're asking the coaches questions and they're trying to get back to go fucking coach. And Pop would just have none of it. But he would be an ass, but just like in this really lovable way. Like, he'd make the reporters like, one reporter asked him a question and he's like, yeah. And then the reporter's like, well, what about that? And he's like, I'm waiting for you to ask me the second question. It's like this kind of smarmy assholery. And, Pop's, he's had one of the most games of any head coach ever in NBA history. Won 5 titles.
I was going to say, is he one of the best ever?
I think
the best ever?
I think he might be the best coach ever.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm actually kind of surprised he lasted this long because I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago his wife passed away, and he took a sabbatical and just like and came back and then went away. And I'm just like,
and he's had health problems.
Yeah, he's had health problems. So, and he's 76. Like, dude, you're 76, and he gets to be the president of basketball operations, so he doesn't have to be as heavily involved as a coach is.
No. And he picked the next coach.
Yeah. So, thanks for the amazing years, Pop. I still blame you for taking a title away from Miami, though.
Oh, that Tim Duncan one, right? Yeah.
Oh, but listen, as much as I hated it, that was one of the best played by one team series I've ever seen in my life. Was how the Spurs just dismantled that Miami Heat team with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James. They just picked them apart like it was nothing. It was one of the best played series I've ever watched.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, Pop is a good human, so he's been out there talking about all the important issues and unapologetically talking about it. So good on him.
Yeah, him and Steve Kerr. Cheers to them.
Legend. So now great segue into legendary. We had a legendary trade in the NFL draft last week, y'all, between Doug and I's teams, which are two of the worst run organizations in, I wouldn't say NFL history. How about this era of NFL for sure?
Agreed.
The Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Clowns. And the Cleveland Browns were on the clock at number 2 and proceeded to trade that pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a bunch of picks. And the Jaguars picked quote unquote generational talent Travis Hunter. And then the Browns went down to 5 and drafted some big white dude from Michigan.
Big white dude.
Yeah. Actually,
from Michigan. That's a lot of.
Yeah. So I don't know. I actually like. It's rare that I like what the Browns do. I actually like what they did here. Because we lost a gazillion picks because the owner wanted to get massaged by Deshaun Watson. So we needed to recoup some of them back. So that was a good time. Jacksonville, I'm not sure what y'all were doing, trying to give us a first-round pick to move up 3 picks, but hopefully it works out with Travis Hunter, who I absolutely love. Doug, what are your thoughts?
I like Travis Hunter. I think they gave up too much. I think that was a win trade for Cleveland because Cleveland has so many holes. They need to fill a million positions. So at least you have the opportunity to with more picks, and you can try to build that way. Where Jacksonville taking the opposite approach. We got this Travis Hunter guy who can play, both sides of the ball or whatever. And again, this is this for the 6th year in a row. We're going to try to get Trevor Lawrence more weapons. Okay, great. Greg, you made a point in private chat that you thought that Trevor Lawrence would be better suited if he just changed venues, and I could not agree more. As a Jacksonville fan, it bums me out because I think he's a good quarterback. He has. I mean, how many head coaches has he had? I think he's had 4 head coaches in 6 years. That's
and then probably like 4 offensive coordinators or something like that. Like,
yeah, so like you're never if you don't have a consistency thing, you're not going to be consistently good. You could be consistently bad. And I don't think he's bad. I just think that he's just
well,
he's
supporting
had
cast is not great.
no.
And
And
yeah, and one of the things that our 2 teams have is horrible owners. Just terrible. Just terrible.
uh,
That now
well,
again, they're both insanely rich. They both spend a lot of money on the team, so you can't argue that part. But after that, it's weird, Doug, because y'all have this like I think that Khan is like this hands-off guy. I literally think the guy just sits in his yacht and just fucking collects money, and he doesn't even give it. He cares like 3 times a year about the team. Whereas the Browns, this dude can't keep his hands off the fucking team. And it's like the opposites. Like it's wild. It's just wild how you could be so different but have the same result, which is having shitty organizations from the top down for the most part. I think the Browns actually have a good coach and a good GM, and I don't know how they've kept them. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to keep them because I would run away if I were them. But I don't know.
yeah.
I guess if you're paid millions of dollars to coach a sport, and it's kind of you just
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things, Doug, when you have like a shitty you like your job but you have a shitty boss. That's what I think about the Browns.
Yeah.
what, what do you think about Khan?
Well, I will say with Jacksonville,
what about Khan? Do you think like is he like what I say is he like I just see his hands off
yes,
in a bad way.
I think he is. But I think he tries to get his sons to do the work. And the problem, his son, who's a major guy, owns AEW wrestling, and he pays way more attention to that than he does the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so, like, it's like
I didn't know that. Okay.
So yeah, like
okay.
So like I feel like he pays more attention to the wrestling part than the actual football part. So and listen, the Jacksonville. I remember when Jacksonville hired Urban Meyer, and I was like, that is the dumb fucking hire.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard about.
And Greg was like, wait, he was really successful in college. I'm like,
I was like, I don't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know.
And I'm done telling you this is going to be bad. And then that whole year was like one of the worst coaching jobs of anybody ever in NFL history, which is saying something because we've had some really bad coaches in the NFL, but that was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that transition from coaches from college to pros, it's just as perilous as the players, if that makes sense. Just as perilous.
For sure.
So
sure.
Right. It could go great. It could go horrible. We saw Nick Saban. We saw Steve Spurrier. We saw Rick Meyer. Whatever. Urban Meyer. Who gives a fuck? Rick Meyer. He was the Rick Meyer fucking coach, and he was terrible. He was beyond horrible. So yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this might be able to work out. Nah. Anyway, so then the draft proceeds, Doug, and the Browns end up with the most controversial player in the fucking draft in Shedeur Sanders. And I still don't
you
like
got him in. Maybe you got him in the fifth round.
I got it, but
you roll the dice.
Yeah.
The thing is, Shedeur Sanders got this billing as like, oh well, he's going to be a really good quarterback. And the thing is he's a game manager. He's not a guy with a cannon arm. He's not nearly as athletic as his dad. Could be a game manager kind of QB. He could.
Well, I'm not. So my problem with Shedeur is not on the court or on the field at all. Actually, I think he's fine as a football player. Honestly, I think he's fine. He has a high completion percentage. He can move. He has feet. He has wheels. One of the things that people don't talk about is that Colorado had one of the worst offensive lines, just period. And also, y'all, I know Colorado didn't win any bowl games, but what were they before any Sanders rolled in there? They were horrible. And it wasn't just Shedeur. It was, Travis Hunter. It was, Shiloh. It was Coach Prime, for all the vitriol that he gets. Those guys turn that franchise, that organization around, y'all. So whether y'all like it or not, the off the field stuff is what I'm concerned about Shedeur. And the glam and the glitz and I got that this is the new NFL and all that, but like or the new college, but I just don't like any of it, and I just don't think that the Browns are the team that's going to hone in on them. Now again, we got a good coach, two-time head coach of the year in the NFL. Not many people have done that, so he's a good coach, and if anybody can handle it, it's him. But I also feel that the owner pushed this one, Doug. I don't think the coaching staff wanted this one. So then there's that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that I actually, my problem with Shador is not the way he plays. Actually, that's really the least of it. So we'll see where all this goes. I'm not really even concerned about Dion meddling. Dion has a job that pays him $10 million a year. So he better be focused on that in the fall than where his sons are and all that. We'll see. I'm always skeptical about anything that the Browns do, if y'all don't know me. But what I'm not skeptical of, Doug, is the third beer. What is this third beer? I got to go get it.
It is this one, thanks to Daniel Fisher. We got another one from, I think, some Brockton Beer Company. This is Any Heartbreak. So this is a Northeast IPA. Greg, this is the one, sir? Yes, sir. I love the description. So the description, I'm going to read it out because
let's go.
Any Heartbreak is a throwback to memories of your first crush and heartbreak, recording songs off the radio, using a pencil to fix a cassette tape, rushing to answer the house phone before your parents could, going to the school dance hoping your crew would get with their crew, planning your life on a paper fortune teller, breaking up after going out for a whole 3 months. Heartbreak is real. Take a sip of down memory lane. BBC plus you equals forever. So, did you have a hair in yours? What the fuck was that?
It looked like a dead daddy long leg. Was this in my glass?
That was probably in your glass. I doubt that was in the beer.
That's a new definition of dirty glass, gang. Jesus Christ.
Dirty glass gang, baby.
Oh my God.
Look at that though.
Yeah.
That looks good. Daniel. Protein.
Ooh.
That smells.
Doug, you're not gonna like this one, I don't think. Ooh. 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 Ooh.
That's not super hoppy, Greg. I don't know why you wouldn't think I would like it. It's like citrusy too, which is Northeast IPAs I generally like.
Okay. I don't know. I feel it's assertive.
On the aftertaste, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not mad at it. Also, really great can art too.
Great can art, absolutely. Here, put that up again, Doug, please. Yeah, and two guys that hang out with mics in front of them for how many years? We should love that theme.
Sure do.
All right.
Sure do. Greg, what is going on with your drop? Drop. Shaking your head when you come back in.
Doug, what it is it's this new mouse that I got. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Back buttons on it. So I got to disable that or something because this happened during the Badger beer thing too. So I gotta watch my fat thumb. Yeah, it is. It's good though. It's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was he was saying it's fairly sort of on the finish. So I was agreeing with him. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In a great way for me. Now again, it could be offensive to other people. But yeah, so what's not offensive, Doug, is this
baby
starting up. And yeah, we got one basically out. We got a pilot out there that's nothing, but we got my Kendrick review. It's 30 minutes about the 51 song concert in Minneapolis. And Kendrick's still out there running around with SZA, making a whole bunch of money. And yeah, check that out. Hopefully this weekend, Rage Against the Machine with me and Chris Carlton will be out. That is fun.
Nice.
I think it's about an hour and a half. We go through 4 albums, and Chris dissects it and breaks it down. Y'all going to want to hear what Chris thinks about Zach De La Roca, and you will want to hear what Chris says about Zach De La Roca. That's all I got about that one. And then, Doug, coming up, I don't have the new. I do have it. Let's just give me a little time here. Coming up on Mortal Content, Doug, I think the producer will be making an appearance.
How about that?
Yeah, Doug, I don't know if you want to talk about what's going on in the next one coming up here.
Yes. So the next Mortal Content, we're going to focus on music, and specifically almost like a crossover episode with Soundscape, where it's going to be you, me, and Imani Powell. We're going to talk about Soundscape and all that, and music in general. I'm not sure we should give away what we're all going to be talking about on Soundscape, but
we can. It was decided here, Doug. It was decided on Speakeasy, so we can talk about it for sure.
Yeah, so we're Imani, Greg, and I are going to talk about Maxwell. I'm going through my second listen through on his discography, so that'll be interesting. But with that, we're not just going to discuss Maxwell because that's for Soundscape, but we're going to talk music in general. I'm thinking about Soundscape and all that stuff because it's a fascinating concept because it's very focused. Whereas my Mortal Content is kind of all over the place because I want to be able to cover a bunch of different things because my brain works in that fashion. So that's going to be fun. I really can't wait to talk all that stuff with you guys.
Yeah, so we're going to take that Soundscape hasn't been recorded yet, y'all. We're going to do it next week, and then we'll have it ready, hopefully before the Mortal Content 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, something like that, 2.5, something like that, down the road. And that'll be fun, Doug. And we'll jump into all kinds of other music things that Doug will work up. I do want to talk about stadium concerts, though. I want to talk to Imani because Imani's going to see a stadium concert. He's going to see Beyonce soon, so that'll be interesting. Her Cowboy Carter tour just started, I think, yesterday. So he's going to see them in MetLife. So that's always interesting. Where I saw Kendrick, it was a dome. So, but it was glass dome, Doug. So, even during the start of it, they had to. I don't know if they had to wait, but it felt like they were waiting for the sun to go down a little bit because it was still really bright in the stadium. So, it was cool. It was cool. But Mortal Content coming up. And Doug, are you ready to talk about this one?
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about a cult called The Way Down. Well, the docuseries called The Way Down, and basically it is a cult built around eating disorders because you're required to be enormously skinny. And
oh wow,
it's really gross shit, and that'll be coming out this coming Wednesday, which is the 7th. So that will be normal time. So that that will be interesting.
You got to be a skinny mini. Okay.
Boy, look who popped in at the last. Were your ears ringing, Chris?
Ears ringing. Yeah. I said that people are going to love your views on Zach De La Roca, Chris. So, because I already heard it, and yeah. Right.
We do not speak his name.
Right. So anyway, you got to be a skinny mini to be in this cult,
dude. Yeah, basically all the women are required to be skinny, not men.
So,
just women.
So Doug, we're saved.
Thankfully,
we're saved.
But not that I was going to be in that cult anyway, but yeah. So.
Well, I don't know. I'm saved. I don't know, Doug. I could, What did I say? Mark safe from that one. Yeah, I'm Mark safe from the skinny cult. Okay, I'm Mark safe from any cult. But as our friend Renee loves to talk about, she believes that everybody's susceptible to a cult on some level. So her
Sure.
being in what, one or two or so, one.
She says two. So yeah.
Right. So like, we everybody looks around and be like, look, you're in a cult, you're in a cult. But I just think that, I think we're all I think the human nature part of us kind of leaves us open to that. Does that make sense, Doug, or no?
Sure. And the thing is nobody goes into it thinking I'm going to get into a cult. Like nobody, like a lot of them start out with these very noble ideas of like, hey, let's all be nice to each other. Let's all support each other. Let's, be there for everybody. Let's, that happens more times than I can count in these cult documentaries that we talk about. Now, granted, there's some that are just people who are fucking narcissist megalomaniacs that just want to control people. That happens a lot too. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but there's a lot of them where it's just like the high-mindedness of, oh, we want to do this because it can either broaden your experience of life or, we want to support all these people. Like those things are appealing to a lot of people. So, and yeah.
Yeah. So, Doug, do you have anything that you're watching before we get out of here?
We talked about it last week. You weren't here. Sinners. Okay, fucking go see it, Greg. You absolutely should.
Tuesday.
Please see it in the theater, and I really want to hear what you think after because I've seen it twice, and there's one scene in it that just absolutely gives me butterflies both times I saw it. And that's not easy to do. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about that. Apparently, Chris Carlton just got out of seeing Thunderbolts and Daniel Fisher saw it.
Well, that's why I was asking you. Yeah, that's why
I haven't seen that. Yeah, I really, really am intrigued by that. I'm not really a Marvel movie. I got to go see some things, but that one looks
weird, right?
Yeah. So also Vanessa Kirby, Mission Impossible. I don't know if you've ever seen her Mission Impossible, but who Nelly?
Maybe I need to see it now.
Yeah, there is also a new Mission Impossible coming out in May. So yeah, and I did talk about it last week. I finally finished the last episode of Black Mirror for this season. Jesus, man, that show just blows me away with the concepts they use. There's one, Greg, that you would like that was Issa Rae was the main character in it, and she was fantastic. And so, yeah, I don't know. That is there.
Okay, cool. You don't have to. It's cool. It's cool. All right. So there was so next week, Doug. Let's talk about next week. So next week, y'all, is our annual Mother's Day panel where you will probably not see much of Doug and I, if you see any of us. Hopefully hosted by our friend Renee. Renee Pickup. Y'all know her from co-hosting here a gazillion times and co-hosting with Doug on the Cult Bar and all the other wonderful things that she does. Hopefully she's going to be our moderator, and we will keep our guest list close to us, but just know that y'all have seen every single one of them here previously. So they are all past guests. They are all mothers, and they are all here to talk about that. So we are looking forward to that. We love seating to the moms and having them have the full stage to talk about all mom things without us goofy dads, dad-splaining or mansplaining or any of that garbage. So we're not doing that here. Y'all know it's better than that. But it's going to be fun. And then next month, we will have the dad reunion, the dad 2.0 reunion. We're still working on that. But we can say we will have your friends, Art Eddie, Aaron Govea, Creed Anthony, and I'm pretty sure Jason Green, who helped us co-host last year, and some surprises. So if you were at a dad 2.0, you will probably be familiar with all of those guys, and if not, how the hell do you not know who these guys are? Where the hell were you? Yeah. You didn't go then, because if you don't know Art Eddie and Aaron Govea, then I don't know what to tell you. And yeah, so yeah, wait.
Oh yeah. When Jerry was been on our show, I guess is what he's talking about, but maybe I'm mistaken there, but like that he was on our show and on YouTube. So
All those hops make you drop. Yeah, I'm confused, but I'm always confused at this point in my life. Yeah, so we got some fun things coming up, Doug. We got the summer coming up. Going to be interesting. Anything else you'd like to talk about, Doug, before we get out of here?
well, two things, if I may. I
All right.
fucking hate I hate mudding and taping drywall. I would like to really
Oh,
say that because I'm working on that fucking studio. I goddamn hate it. I am bad at it, and it just drives me nuts. So, but I'm on the last wall that I have to mud and tape, and once I get that, then I have to sand, and then after that, I can put in subfloor and carpeting, and then I gotta put all the I want to put soundproofing all up in the room. So I got stuff.
yeah.
So I'm getting there. It has been a long project. It's been a year plus of me doing this, and I cannot wait to be done with drywalling.
Do we have a Do we have a goal time? Do we have a?
No, I'm hoping to be done with the. So basically, I'm just doing first coat of drywall, mudding, and everything. I hope to be done with that this weekend and sanding. And then what I will probably do is do one second coat, and then I'll paint, and I can get to flooring. But it's
So still
it's
a couple months out.
Yeah, probably. So I'm trying to do it. The thing is I got gardening shit I got to get up to speed, like things with Jill that I'm trying to get together. I did a whole bunch of stuff this week outside trying to get things ready. So yeah, I fucking hate it. But I want to also shout out something that I made this week that was absolutely delicious. It's a food thing. It was Peruvian chicken. Have you ever had Peruvian chicken with green sauce?
Mm.
Oh my god, dude! It is.
You got a recipe?
Yes.
Okay.
I have it. I'll hear it. Give me a second. I'll snag it for you and we can post it.
Yeah. I don't need it now. I don't need it now.
I got too many recipes. So yeah, it's super duper tasty. So it's made the green sauce that's actually what makes it. One I can share. I could share my thing here and I'll show you what it is. All right, hold on here.
Yeah, you got to put it in our chat because we'll lose it here.
I will. So this is what it looks like.
Okay.
It is so fucking good. And you basically marinate the chicken for like 8 hours. You grill it for 8 minutes.
Grill. Okay. Grill. Those look like thighs.
Yeah, you could do thighs. You could do whole chicken. You could do whatever you have. I just wanted thighs because thighs, I like thighs. They're cheap.
Yeah, they're the best cut in my opinion.
Yeah, so I
boneless, Doug, or boneless.
Well, you could get either or. I did boneless with skin on because I wanted to grill. I was the skin all grilled, and then you just put that nice green sauce over it. I did some like buttered noodles and green beans with it for extra veggies and stuff. So man, that was so damn good. And really, it's not hard to make. But super duper easy. I'll put it in our group chat over in Facebook. So,
and is that that's a yogurt based sauce, right, or no?
Yes, there's yogurt and mayonnaise.
Okay.
So,
what makes it green? Cilantro.
Cilantro, lots of cilantro, and jalapenos. But the jalapeno, you take the seeds and the ribs out, and that makes it not so spicy, and it gets all that jalapeno flavor in it. So. I thought that's one I'll make again because it's not hard to make. It's just basically make the sauce, put it in with your thighs or whatever you're making. them, and then just make it whatever you want with it, like as sides. But like, oh goodness, that was so good. Yeah, the only problem is for that particular recipe would be difficult because I know Daniel has some. Yeah, the keys kimchi fried rice. That is, dude. Greg, I think you would absolutely love that. The kimchi fried rice.
Well, yeah, because I had one of the I didn't get to the amazing food that we had. But the last thing we had in Chicago was it's called Soul Tacos, Doug, and they have what is that? Bogolo, Bogoli. I call it Boogaloo, but that's the Boogaloo boys, and I'm not.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bogoli beef, Bogoli. Yeah, Soul Taco.
Bulgogi.
This. Yeah, that shit's fucking excellent. Well, I went to this place called Soul Taco, yes. And it's like a mashup between tacos and like Korean food. And it has this whatever beef. I don't even care. Like it's fucking delicious, right? But also what they had kimchi. They got kimchi coleslaw there, and they also had kimchi rice. I wanted to order the kimchi rice, but I guess I made a mistake and ordered the kimchi coleslaw. Either way, it was fucking excellent. So then
kimchi is awesome.
Kimchi is awesome. So then we went to Costco, and my sons were like, "Whoa, look, kimchi!" And I was like, "I don't even care. Just buy it. We will figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with it. I don't even care." So we got it, and then I was like, I put it in our chat. I don't know if you saw that. I was like, or I put it on Discord. I was like, "What can I do with this?" And that's when Daniel was like, "Dude, you got to get Doug's kimchi fried rice." And I was like, yes, I do need to get Doug's kimchi fried rice fucking recipe. So yeah, I'm gonna get Doug's kimchi fried rice, and we're gonna get that done here. Yes.
Oh, so first of all, I think that yes, keep your regular meal because it's a good. And the thing is if you eat Asian food, the only thing with Asian food is a lot of sodium in it, but there's sodium in it. Passage. Cabbage for the passage. Fucking tag. Well played, Daniel. Oh yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So this was April talking about the Peruvian chicken. So yeah, I'm telling you, not hard to make. So yeah.
All right.
I have found so many recipes that I can just yeah.
So
one other when you
flood them on. Hold on, real quick. Though, can you flood them on Discord? Put those recipes in our food stuff, please, on Discord.
Oh yeah,
that way April can find it, and that's where April and everybody can find it because they won't be able to find it on our private chat. Go on though. But
when I went to visit, we went to visit our daughter. I did. My wife did too. She was able to meet us, but she was doing some presentation, like a public presentation of this like science thing that was like beyond my ability to understand because she's brilliant. And so we went there, and then we took her to this place near their campus called Wacko Gringo.
Okay.
Which is but they had General Tso's tacos that were just fucking delicious. And they make an elote that is just fantastic. Like, it's such a good fucking place to eat. And all their sodas are like, so if you want like a Mexican Coke, they have a Mexican Sprite. They have all the Doritos. Like, it just, their food there is fucking outstanding. And I just like that General Tso's, like, I was going to have, my wife generally gets like the birria tacos, but I can't have beef all that often. So like,
no.
So, but she gave me a bite of that and that was just delicious. Like, I want to think, but like I had a General Tso's taco, which I thought was interesting. And man, that was awesome. So it reminded me when you were saying Soul Tacos, that's where my brain went like, oh yeah, I had some.
It was Soul Taco it's I don't know, I guess there's like 3 or 4 of them in Chicago. If you ever go to Chicago, you gotta do that. So one of the things I was telling my friends who were from back east that we met in Chicago is that we're idiotic about our fucking cheese curds here. We're fucking stupid about it. And I'll show you an example because you sparked my memory here. Is we have General So's curds, Doug. Look at that
What?
shit. Look at that shit. So Lakefront, Lakefront. They have a curd of the month, Doug, and it's all different ones: lemon, lime, cinnamon. It's just wild. So this month, you see what it is. It's fucking General So's. So yeah, I.
Interesting.
Oh, look. The June flavor is churro. Says it right there. Our June flavor will be churro. So they have churro cheese curds.
Okay, well, maybe with the saltiness of the cheese curds, maybe that works. I just feel like the texture's wrong.
I don't know about any of it. I don't know about any of it, to be honest with you. But just like beer, I would try it. But I need to stay away from cheese and fried food. So if y'all order it, I could have one or two, but I can't order a whole fucking thing myself.
It's like one of those things. That's how you got to do it, dude.
Oh, there's no question, Doug. Like, so whenever I go out to eat with anybody, it's like, hey, can I share something, or can I just get I just want a little taste. Just a little taste. That's it. I don't even need any more. Yeah. So I don't know, Doug. I thought you had something else, or did you, or don't you?
Dude, I can talk all night, but so
I know.
There was something, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Sorry, I was thinking about something with Chicago, and you were there, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to ask you about that," and I just never. I should have noted it down, and I did not, so I apologize.
Yeah, I should find. I can find. Hold on, let me see. I should be able to find enough door pictures. Right. Let's see. No, that's Minneapolis. Where are we at here?
Speaking of Minneapolis, as a side note, I would really like to eat what Rick Dodora's menu is for his Houndstooth Tavern thing at some point, but unfortunately, I'm nowhere near Minneapolis.
Yeah, and that's a pop up too, so it changes.
Yeah,
it's a moving kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. It's probably amazing. So, and then Paige does the beer stuff, so it's just. Yeah, I only had an hour or two with them, but it was good, as you saw in the pictures.
Yeah, but they're just great fucking people. So yeah. At some point, maybe I'll meet them in person at some point because I never have.
Oh wow. Okay. I've been putting the pressure on about Baron Flow forever, so that should happen with them at some point for sure. And I will take credit for it when it happens.
As you should. I think they would actually totally love that because I think they would relish the culture of it.
Oh yeah, totally, fully. And Rick and I are discussing to do a soundscape, so there's that too.
Oh, that'll be interesting because Rick has a very eclectic taste.
Yeah, he's trying to get me to do Elton John and all kinds of like.
Elton John has a million records. That would take you 5
that's what I'm saying
to get through.
Where JC and I are.
I know very little of this, but if you know Greg, please expound.
Okay,
I heard a little bit about it.
The story is that so the famous story is that last week somebody a GM got a hold of Sador Sanders' cell phone for the call. Now Sador got a phone call just for that. So it wasn't his regular phone. So he went and got a cell phone just for when they were going to call him to say, "Hey, you're picked and this is your team." Problem is that number went out to all the teams because all the teams were available to pick Shador, right?
Right.
So the defensive coordinator for Atlanta's son got a hold of the number and pranked called Shador and said, "Hey, somebody's picking you and all this." But the fucking dumb thing about it, Doug, was that he fucking recorded himself doing it like a fucking moron. So then, right. So then, the Atlanta Falcons got fined $250,000, and the father got fined $100,000 because his son got the fucking number and pranked Shador. Now, the fucked up thing about it is, April, Shador wasn't the only one that got pranked. There was a couple other people that got pranked too. So I don't know. There's starting to be a groundswell, Doug, of people saying that you don't call, like there's a movement to where the GMs aren't going to call the players until after they're picked or something. So there's something working there. So like there's not anything, because Shador did the right thing as far as like, he had a phone that, the only number was that number and it's still leaked and all that. So like, yeah, it's just bad. Like, whether you like Shador or Sanders or not, that's just not
cool that's shitty
at all.
And I didn't know that. Really I didn't know that happened to other people.
It happened to other people too. Shador, of course, he comes with.
That sounds like a 15-year-old. Like, hey, I got these numbers. Ha ha ha! Let's make some prank calls.
Yeah, no, he was like 20 or something, dog. He was like, he's an adult.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Facebook was saying he's blacklisted because of his past. The person who did the prank.
I'm thinking they're meaning Shador, but because Shador fell so far, but I don't think it was the thing. I think it was largely everybody's worried about Deion. And somebody made the point, which is an interesting point, like that if someone drafts him and they don't do that, they're on the clock because somebody might hire Deion to replace them. And I was like, okay, I could see the paranoia there, why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Now, again, for the Browns specifically, they have a 2-time head coach of the year. So, like, the dude can coach, and I don't think he's in trouble that way. I don't know. That sounds really. I'm with you. I heard it, Doug. It sounds really more conspiracy than anything. He was like, "Don't pick me if you aren't going to change the franchise." So that's not the first time we've heard a draft pick say that. I think that Doug. I saw a clip and all the guys were like effing Dorsey. You missed most of it, Vector. So let's talk about it, Doug, while we're here. Why does Shador Sanders fall? I don't think it's a simple, straight yes or no answer. I think that I didn't want to talk about this, and now we're here. I didn't want to talk about it because it's heavy. Not heavy, it's convoluted, I think. Sure. I don't think there's a real straight answer. Number one, I think Doug has a point where people feel that Deion is a meddler in his son. He's going to meddle in his son's pro career. I don't think that that's as true as people make it, because again, Deion has his own job, so that's going to keep him from doing something else. But that is a concern. The way that Shador handled his interviews was, if true, horrible. There was times where he went in. Again, we can't confirm or deny any of these stories, but these stories are coming out that like he went in basically thinking that they were going to recruit him, when it's kind of the other way around. So then there was a disconnect there, meaning he was, y'all need to impress me, when it was kind of the other way around. They wanted him to talk about plays and talk about the playbook, and apparently he didn't show up prepared for any of that. So he turned off a lot of owners and a lot of coaches in that manner. And I think even he has said that he would do things better or differently if given the opportunity. given that he fell to the 5th round. So there's a lot going on. There's also a level probably of racism, but I'm not sure how much that played into it. But it's always a question when you have 31 owners who are white.
Yep.
Most of the GMs who are white. But I don't know. The first player drafted was a black quarterback, so I'm not sure about that angle. But I know that Sador comes with a certain amount of baggage, and that didn't help. But yeah, so I don't think it's his play though, because I think he was a good quarterback, and I think it's hard to, when you look at what he did, I mean, it's hard to say that he's bad. So yeah, we'll see. I'll be the first one to see it because he's on the Browns. So yeah, yeah, that's a big part of it.
I think that's a major part of it.
That's a big part of it. Yeah. So, there's that aspect for sure. So, like I said, it's convoluted, and we'll see. We'll see how he does. We'll see if the Browns got a steal or not, or if the Browns got a problem, or both. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, or there's yelling, there's the dude got $1 million gift. So there's a level of entitlement. There's a level of, is he motivated? Does he really want to do this? Is he, you know what I mean? His nickname, he nicknamed himself Legendary. There's a lot going on here, y'all. So, a lot going on. So, where there's not a lot going on, Doug, is the rest of this broadcast.
Yeah. That was me typing. So, unfortunately, my keyboard is rather loud. So, I apologize.
So, Doug, before we go, are you one of those loud keyboard people? Do you like that?
I type really fast and really
really fast and hard. But you can get. That's what hopefully your wife said, or maybe not fast. It's not good, but anyway, listen. But you can get a keyboard that's silent, Doug. Do you prefer the ones that make noise?
Yes.
Like a thin typewriter.
No, I don't want those. Those are different. Like, I actually just have a regular old keyboard, but I am very hyper aggressive when I type. So,
can you hear
mine? I can barely hear yours.
Right. I want to hear it a little bit, but I don't need all that. All right, yours is.
Can you hear me typing?
Oh yeah, totally. Chicago was excellent. Excellent. So here you go, Victor. So Wrigley, excellent. Even with the pole there, didn't care. I mean, it looked beautiful. Yeah. Chicago dog, Victor, was excellent. Half of a Chicago dog. It's pretty good. Inside Wrigley, excellent. Outside Wrigley, excellent.
That is the best. That shirt is the fucking best. I just love that.
Yeah, Victor, it was excellent. Oh yeah. Hold on, we're here, Victor. Did the old Garrett's popcorn? Had to stop there. This was the one brewery I went to, Victor. It was right up the street from the hotel. It's cool. That was literally the beer I drank. That was probably all I drank of it. So yeah. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, Union Station, Victor. Took the train home. Good times. Yes. So we will not see y'all mostly next week, but y'all should tune in if y'all want to see the mom's panel with Renee. And then the week after, I'm not sure what's going on, Doug. I don't even know if we have anybody, so we'll see about all that.
Hey, I do have one thing before we go, Greg. what would you rank your beers tonight? I'm really curious because we had the
Oh,
same beers. What
we
do you
didn't.
think?
Yeah, whatever happened to that, Doug? Why don't we do that anymore? What happened to us? So, Doug, it's absolutely the worst to the first is clean sweep was the worst.
Agreed.
The worst. And there was no worst here. This is where it gets interesting. Um, I'm going to say this one. I'm going to say the IPA and then the Black Kolsch.
Same. I'm in the same order, sir.
Yeah, the Black Kolsch was unique and it was fun. And again, that malt, that subtle malt with that whole Kolsch thing going on was really nice. And then I don't know, this IPA was top notch. It was really good. Again, that punch at the end is what I really loved, actually.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I'm the same. I just think that Black Coach was so unique and delicious, and like the any IPA one, they get bonus just for having great can art, great message about it, and that goes a long way for me. And like I like NA Northeast IPAs. There was a little bit of hoppy notes more coming on the aftertaste bit for me, but like I didn't hate it. I just like it. I, honestly, weirdly, when it's on the aftertaste, I don't mind it. When it's like right in your face, the
Mm.
hoppy notes, that is a little more difficult for me to do. And the clean sweep was fine. It's a good pilsner, but yeah, I just think that
Well, it was gonna be a tough battle with those two, if that makes sense, because
for sure.
those packed a punch actually, and that IPA, man, it gets a little better with the warmth actually. Wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't let it get too warm. I drank it pretty fast. So
All right, Doug. So we'll get out of here.
yes, sir.
Any last words or concerns? It's nice
One
to
of
be
the
back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, man. We missed you for sure. The only thing I will say is the last time we had a Mother's Day show, it was one of the biggest watch shows we had on Brothers and Booze before we converted over to Speakeasy Conversations. And you will not be disappointed by the folks we have on this time. Just join us. You don't have to be a parent at all. I'm going to tell you that people are just going to rock it. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Well, the last show, Doug, was the Women in Craft, if you remember, Black Women in Craft, led by our wonderful April Love, if you remember.
For sure.
EBC.
Okay. I thought the last one was the Mother. It's usually Black and Craft, and then the other one we have is Mother.
Yeah, but we did the Mother thing. It was good. That was I think the Mother thing was, I think last year it was hosted by ABC, I think.
ABC and Renee.
Oh yeah. Excellent. Right. All right. So we will have Renee. The rest of the guests we will leave up for y'all to see next week. So we're talking to April about hopefully getting the Back Women in Craft thing going in July, y'all. So we absolutely would love to see that again. So
Yep.
But no, Doug, you're right though. I mean, last year's Mother's Day show was one of our largest watch for last year for sure. So and that'll be out on YouTube, y'all. And I almost clicked myself out of this again, Doug. So luckily I did it. So let me click. Yeah, I gotta fix this. Let me click out of here. Let me click end stream, y'all. It's good to be back. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yep. Cheers.
Kentucky Derby, Doug. Do you do that thing?
No, don't give a shit.
Yeah, I watch it, but no, I know nothing, and I never bet. And no, I don't have a fancy hat, and no, I don't like
mint juleps. Fuck mint juleps.
Right, I don't like mint that much. I'm not a mint person.
I like mint, but not juleps. So Cheers.
Yeah, we're back for a week or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bye, y'all.